In the silent grasslands of the savannah, a desperate cry echoes across the golden plains. A tiny cheetah cub clings to life after a brutal hyena attack, and what its mother does next is something no predator has ever dared to do. Before the story begins, make sure to subscribe and like for more real-life wildlife stories. The sun hovers low over the endless savannah, and warm wind moves across the tall grass, where a cheetah mother named Alira lies hidden with her 3 tiny cubs she has guarded them for weeks, always alert, always listening for danger. But on this day the air feels wrong. There's a tension in the wind, a deep warning that presses against her instincts. Alira senses movement long before she sees anything. Her ears twitch, her breath grows tight. She knows the smell that drifts toward her. It is the scent of hyenas, a clan of them moving together through the grasslands. Rough laughter carried on the wind, and the unmistakable stench of danger closing in. Her cubs are still fragile, barely old enough to wander more than a few paces, and she gathers them close, urging them to stay silent. But the smallest cub, a shy one named Kiri, tries to follow her as she shifts her position. He stumbles and lets out a soft cry, too soft for most predators, but not too soft for hungry hyenas. The laughter stops, the grass rustles, and in an instant, the clan explodes into view, snarling and charging straight at the den site. Alira lunges forward and releases a fierce growl, trying to outrun them, trying to draw them away, but the hyenas are fast and coordinated. They spread out surrounding her, and the cub Kiri tries to hide, but one of the hyenas reaches him first, flipping him with a violent swipe. Alira screams in silent agony, rushing back toward him, but 2 hyenas block her path, snapping at her legs and forcing her back. She fights, desperately weaving and dodging, but she is outnumbered and the cub is too close to them. Curious struck again, and he collapses, trembling and weak. The hyena that hit him prepares to sink its jaws down and finish him, but something happens, something even the hyenas do not expect. Alira turns away from the cub and bolts past them, running as if fleeing the scene. The hyenas laugh, thinking she is abandoning her young like a coward, but Alira has no intention of leaving. She races toward a rocky ridge where she has seen another creature earlier in the day. A massive male lion resting in the shade. Lions and cheetahs are enemies. The lion could easily kill her or her cubs. Lions betray no mercy towards smaller predators, but Alira keeps running, her heart exploding in terror, and Hepesh approaches the ridge, slowing only when she is steps away from the sleeping lion. She stands before him trembling and gives a sharp, desperate cry, a call no cheetah has ever dared to give to a lion, a call of surrender, not challenge. She bows her head low, flattening her body to the earth, risking her life in a way no predator would ever attempt. Lion lifts his head, confused by the strange behavior, and Alira calls again, a shaken, pleading sound. The lion stands, sensing her desperation but unsure what she wants. Then he hears it, the hyena laughter in the distance, the sound of a wounded cub, and the snarls of predators closing in. Lion has his own grudges against hyenas. They have stolen kills, attacked cubs, and taunted him countless times. He roars thunderously, a roar that shakes the stones and sends birds scattering into the sky. Alira leaps back, heart racing, but she does not run. She waits, praying this impossible gamble will work. Lion charges toward the sound of the hyenas pounding across the savannah with earth-shaking steps. Alira races behind him, barely able to keep up as dust storms rise behind their feet. The hyenas hear the approaching roar, and panic spreading through them. Like fire, some scatter immediately, but not all. The one near Kiri stays determined, hungry, and unwilling to abandon. A nearly helpless, prey lion arrives first, bursting through the grass with explosive force. His enormous mane catching the sunlight, he slams his paws down, sending hyena scrambling. The lead hyena tries to stand its ground, snapping at him, but one strike from the lion's paw sends it tumbling helplessly through the dust. The others flee into the tall grass, unwilling to challenge him. For Kiri lies on the ground, trembling eyes half open, barely conscious. Alira rushes to him, nudging him frantically with her head, trying to make him stand, trying to feel the small, fragile breath that still moves inside him. The lion watches, silently, no longer aggressive, only curious, observing the bond between mother and cub. Alira licks Kiri again and again, urging life back into him, whispering through her trembling body that he must hold on. The cub breathes a thin, weak breath, but it is there, and she feels hope for the first time since the attack. She turns to the lion, ready to flee if he shows any sign of turning on them, but the lion simply steps back, lowers his head, and walks away, fading into the golden grass, as if understanding her plea and granting her mercy. Alira gathers Kiri, gently lifting him by the scruff, and begins guiding her other cubs toward a hidden ravine, a safe place far from the hyenas. She moves slowly, carefully watching every shadow, every stir of the grass. Kiri hangs limp in her jaws, but she feels the faint pulse of life and refuses to stop, refuses to lose him, refuses to let his courage fade in the dust of the savannah. For hours, she makes her way across the plains, every muscle shaking from exhaustion. The other cubs follow quietly, knowing something is wrong, knowing their mother is fighting a battle far larger than any. They have seen the sun begins to sink, painting the sky red, and shadows stretched long across the land. Alira finally reaches The ravine, a place hidden between tall stone walls where wind patterns mask scent trails, making it difficult for predators. To track her, she lays Kiri down and curls her body protectively around all 3 cubs, whispering silent promises into the fading light. She will not let the night take him, not after he survived so much, not after she made the impossible choice. To seek help from a lion, Kiri breathes, but each breath is faint, each movement small, each moment a fragile tether to life. Alira keeps her eyes open all night, never resting, never blinking as darkness floods the savannah, and distant Hyena calls echo. Hauntingly in the wind, but she is not afraid now, not tonight. Her cub is still here, and she will do whatever it takes to keep him. Alive asterisk. Dawn arrives quietly, with a pale golden glow stretching along the horizon. Alira lifts her head stiff from the long night and looks down at Kiri. His breathing is still shallow, but steady. She nudges him gently, and he stirs, just enough to show her he is still fighting, that he has not surrendered to the darkness that hovered over him only hours before. 2 other cubs snuggle against her, sensing the fragile hope around them, yet fear lingers too, because the savannah holds no mercy, and hyenas are relentless. They could return at any moment, searching, finishing what they started, drawn by the scent of injury and vulnerability. Alira knows she must find food or her strength will fail, but she refuses to leave the cubs. Alone, she scans the ravine, searching for any sign of danger, any shift in the wind. Before deciding she must move, Kiri cannot survive without her warmth and milk, yet he also cannot travel far, his small body still trembling from the wounds left by the hyena nudges him softly, pushing him to his feet. He struggles, wobbling on weak legs, but he tries. He pushes himself up and follows her step by shaky step. She guides all 3 cubs carefully through the ravine, staying close to the stone walls, using every instinct she has learned to keep them hidden. Hours pass as they travel in silence, moving from shade to shade, until they reach a cluster of acacia trees where small prey sometimes gather. Alira hides the cubs in the grass, and for the first time since the attack, she leaves them alone, but only for moments. She darts out, scanning the horizon, her body trembling with hunger but her mind focused only on survival. Spots alone Dick grazing near the bushes, her lean muscles coil and she springs forward, silent, swift, precise. The chase is brief and she captures her prey quickly, dragging it back toward the cub. She tears pieces gently, giving the softest bits to Kiri, who can barely eat, but manages a few bites, enough to give him strength enough to keep him breathing for days. She repeats this routine, protecting, feeding, watching, listening. Every night she curls around the cubs, and every morning she guides Kiri slowly through the grass, teaching him to walk again, to grow stronger, to survive the shadow of death that had nearly taken him. Hyenas do not return, perhaps driven away by the memory of the lion, perhaps distracted by other prey, or perhaps simply unaware that Kiri still lives in the hidden heart of the ravine. But Alira never relaxes. She stays alert every moment, prepared to fight again. If they come back, prepared to face anything, even if it means sacrificing everything. His days turn to weeks. Kiri grows stronger, his legs steadier, his eyes brighter. The wounds fade, leaving faint scars along his side, reminders of the battle he endured, reminders of the cruel world he was born into, and the mother who refused to surrender him to fate. One evening, as the sky blazes with orange light, Kiri wanders a short distance from the den, for the first time exploring the world with curiosity instead of fear. He pounces weakly at a grasshopper, missing it, but trying again. Alira watches him, her heart swelling with pride and relief, her courage rewarded, her gamble vindicated. Thank you for watching this story. If you want more wildlife tales like this, make sure to subscribe, like and share. Your support keeps these stories alive.